on these news blogs and whatnot.
Hold on 1 second.
Do you want to address the Norway where you've got your...
510, turn down your speakers, please.
Okay.
All right, now, two things. I deal with some of the principles in all this, and the information I was given on Iceland, some of it is privileged. I have not been given authorization to discuss it. A certain amount of the mortgages have been forgiven according to where they were originated and the types of monies involved. Some of these are what are called borrowers. Jure borrowing is where you go to a de jure bank or a banking system that is de jure loans the money. This is a different system than the corporate and federal or reserve banking system, totally. Those are valid mortgages. That's a big difference. In other words, you actually have reverted from the artificial creation out of thin air of cash by making a number appear on a computer screen to actually exchange of valuation. In other words, the mortgagor puts out the cash to cover the mortgage and you pay that mortgage back. That's basically the idea, okay? It is not artificial money. It's real value. And that's the difference. This is why some are and some aren't. And yes, I get my information from several sources. One of those, I do read what people say so that I know what is being put out. The second thing is that if I have a question of it that I have no concept as to what an answer might be, I run it by my sources. These are the people who are principal in the takedown of the central banking system. So some of that information that I'm given, they have requested that I don't share it yet. At the time I can, I will. So there's going to be a bit of a press release hopefully coming in about a week or so. And that's the answer to that. Callers?
Hello?
Hello?
Okay.
Hi. My only question...
Wait.
Sorry?
815, you called in first. What's your name, where you're calling from, please?
Jack from Illinois. Hello,
what's your
everybody.
question?
My question, hi, Drake. You had talked about the sweeps going now only to the level of governors, and you had talked about being able to more or less point out at the local level who the local officials are that need to be removed. What I'm wondering is that could become a witch hunt. How would that work? Let's say that I've got people on our county board or our county board here that are corrupt. Who would I contact, and then would they then be investigated and then potentially removed?
That's sort of a combinational question. Yes, it is going to be somewhere in the governor's level as to the federal sweep. The second part of it is left to the individuals. This is the individuals within the state, the individuals within the county. If the individuals, as private citizens, can come up to real evidence, and this real evidence can be bank accounts. There's a lot of ways to do this, where a guy's making, say, 40 grand a year, and all of a sudden he's got 50 in the bank. There's something funny in there. So the call would be to address this in a legal manner before what's called citizens' truth councils. This is one of the ideas being bandied about. And these truth councils would be similar to a grand jury in terms of you present everything you got, or you are removed from office. That's the choice. The presentation then is either good or bad. It'll either show that the person, there's no way a guy making 30 grand's got 100 grand in the bank. There's no way that somebody all of a sudden comes up with 50 grand when they're making 40. Unless they can show where the money comes from, then you know that that is dirty money, that they've been bribed or paid to do certain actions. These actions then can become clean. You pay the money back to the people, for one thing. Number two, you tell exactly who it was, and that might help mitigate whatever charges come about from this in terms of sentencing and things of this nature. Who would you report to? Your neighbor. You need to have a concerted effort of several people who would go around as the witch hunters, as you mentioned, looking for transgressions of the public trust. Just that simple. And this is the ideology of localization in terms of both support and being able to take direct action.
Well, some of them are pretty obvious, but we're not necessarily professional investigators, you know. And,
all right, thank you, 815. You've asked your one question. 510 area, where are you calling from, please?
I am calling from Berkeley, California.
And your name, please?
My name is Lisa.
You may ask one question.
Hi, Drake. My question is when?
Address that. And that's basically the situation. There are also instead of just a sport, they take that sport to the point of killing people. That's the reason for that.
My name is Lisa.
Next question.
That's it. 573, turn down your speakers, please. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I have some.
All right. This Muggsy?
Yes, it's me.
Okay. Your voice came across a little different this time.
I have a frog in my throat. I read an article recently about 30,000 drones over the United States now, and I was wondering if you could comment on that.
Yeah. The surveillance, security, and whatnot has been being tightened up. The basis for the existence and freedom of the people involved with the bad guys has been jeopardized extraordinarily. They want to keep as much of an eye on people as possible. So consequently, that is an inexpensive, supposedly inexpensive way to monitor people, to see whether or not you got a group of citizens running around with guns in the woods, or, oh my goodness, this guy's selling raw milk, or whatever the, quote, crime might be. And they would like to be able to address these in the same ridiculous manner they've been addressing everything else. The only problem is that they have lost their financial leverage over the period of time that this has been coming out. And due to that fact, pretty soon you'll see the drones getting parked. They won't be able to afford the fuel. So you got to remember these things are coming about, and it does take time to address them all. So drones, chemtrails, all of that sort of thing sort of fall into the same sort of categories. These are not good things, so therefore I would suggest that they probably will be dealt with. Drones, I understand, are easy to be taken down. The Air Force practices on this sort of thing all the time. So you've got that consideration. Now, some of these drones may be used to monitor the bad guys. So you got the two-way street again. Some good, some bad, you don't know. All of these things will be outed. I'll say this again clearly. All of these things, the fun and games, all the stuff's been going on, is going to be outed. This is going to be an educational channel kind of thing that'll be run 24/7, and it'll give the basis for a combination of both government structure, the secretiveness that they have promulgated so that they can keep us in the dark and feed us horse manure, and keep us slaving away and making money for their private corporations. That's the answer to that.
What about shutting down the Internet? They just passed a bill. The federal government is trying to shut down the Internet, and they're also trying to get people to sign up on their website for something that seems very malicious. Do you have any comment about the Internet and the longevity of it?
I understand that that's supposed to take place in June. Anybody that doesn't comply with governmental control is supposed to be shut down. I would say that's outside of the time frame where these people will be removed. So, therefore, I don't see it happening. Now, I will tell you that the government has had the capability for quite a few years to turn the Internet off if they so chose. Now, the problem with that is that the government uses it extensively. So this is the reason for sign up to be a good guy on our side. You comply with everything that we think is righteous, including every word out of the mouth of Obama, etc. And you do not say anything nasty or question anything the government does, and all these sorts of things supposedly go along with this agreement. The other part of it is that they put in tracking cookies. Those are installed so they can find out exactly who you're talking to. If you decide that you want to keep somebody's secret, you got a problem. The secrecy is to our advantage at this point. And yet, here we are on the radio talking about opening things up. Well, the opening of things is reliant directly upon the people. The more people can get the word out that they do not have to put up with these things, and that the paperwork has been done to give the civilian authority to the good guys in our military to take the action, then the citizenry can operate under certain military constraints that are found in some militias, military units, and join forces and actually accomplish the goal of setting us free once again, is the ideology behind all of this. I had to buy a pickup truck to haul the target around that's been painted on my butt. So that might give some people some idea. I feel that I'm in a very extraordinarily dangerous position having these things. But it is a situation that needed to be done. The Pentagon, through chain of command, had specifically requested that I do certain shows. You can find those recorded on Freedom Reigns. And the situation is that I signed a thing called an agreement or service agreement that obligates me to serve this country. It doesn't have a time limit, and by that I mean there is not an expiration date. It simply states that I am to uphold and protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. Well, I feel that we've got an extraordinary amount of domestic enemies, and I mean enemies of the people. This is where you get turn off the internet. This is where you get things that are not legal but lawful and done to you anyway, whether you like it or not. All of that goes. This is why these people are desperate. This is why these people are doing anything they can to cause problems. One of those things is they're stepping on our broadcast. They don't have a lot of options left. Consequently, they are in a lot more serious trouble than people realize. And these things are coming a lot sooner than people expect. So get ready, because we're going to have to get her done. And that's the answer to that one.
All right. Caller from 573 area, your name and where you're calling from, please. And your one question.
This is Ralph.
Hello.
Hello, Ralph. Your one? Your part.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Your one question, please.
Okay, Greg, since all of the mainstream media is owned or controlled by the cabal, when this action breaks and the green light is given, will 100% of the mainstream media, that is the TV, radio, newspapers, will they be taken over?
Again.
Yeah.
Or will some of them still be in control
mainstream
by the
media is
cabal?
going to be... I heard a word there.
Go ahead.
Okay. My understanding is that mainstream media will be freed of the control. That means that some of the people that you've been hearing say things that you know ain't right are all of a sudden going to be able to do the about face and tell the truth. This includes each and every last of your major news networks. Now, something that's happened recently is that most of these news networks have lost 50, 60, 70% of their viewership simply because they don't get the news. They don't find out what's going on. They're turning to people such as ourselves because we're not only telling the truth, but we also are bringing them something that's realistic that they can look forward to And we will also report, irrespective as to who